friends, Heidi here from Rain Country. God is good all the time. And I'm here for my weekly garden update, and I suppose I should have waited. Neighbors are making some noise down the road, but got to get out here while we can. We got a semi-nice day, and it's been raining a lot because we're into our spring time, so I got to get out, or spring rain time, so I got to get out and shoot videos while I have the opportunity. So I apologize for the noise coming down the road. But anyway, I'm going to take you around and do just a brief tour, show you a little bit about what's going on around here. So as you can see, our little front yard, chicken yard, is doing pretty good. The bad thing I found is there's at least one chicken that can squeeze her way out through the bottom. So this tells me these are wider than the ones we have in the backyard. So if you're using this for chickens, I don't actually recommend it. So the one that we got at the coastal store in town is a better one. You could probably find one at Tractor Supply. So anyway, other than that, this is all working out pretty good. I just have to keep an eye on the chickens. You can see my potatoes where I've got the pots overturned there. They're doing pretty good. Occasionally I come out here and sort of rake some of the dirt back over to the pots to help keep it covered, because I'm afraid they'll keep digging underneath and eventually dig the potatoes out. But yeah, and I did put some little fencing around the two rhubarb plants there and then right here, and they're doing good. Right now I only have one chicky bird. She's one of the ones that anytime I get down and start digging anything, she's right there. And then eventually all the rest of them will follow. Huh. Yeah. She's actually the one that bites me though too. She can bite really hard. So she can be mean and sweet. She's kind of weird. So that's Broomhilda. Okay, and our little peach tree, I'm not really sure. The it budded out with blossoms all over, and then it got really cold, so I'm not sure if we'll get any fruit off of that. Same thing with this bigger peach tree. The blossoms that were left though look a little healthier, and I think it's because they came on later. But anyway, it's coming along. We'll see what happens. The quince is getting some life on it, and possibly looking like it could get blossoms. I don't know. It'll be interesting. I would love to actually be able to get a quince off that this year. Oh yeah, the cherry tree is looking pretty good, and it looks like it's going to start getting some fruit blossoms here. So possibly. I'm not sure. This could just be leaf buds, but it looks to me like they could be flower buds forming. And then the plum that we transplanted is getting some life. It's getting some buds, some flowers. You can see right there. But the one that's still in the pot in the back has flowers all over it. But of course this one did have to go through, you know, a little bit of shock as it was transplanted. And then the herb garden over here still needs more cleanup, but the sage, the oregano, the peppermint's going all around over there. That I believe back there is chickweed. I'm just leaving it for now. It's edible, it's good for you. I have marshmallows coming up in there. Yeah, so that's all looking good. And then this area right here, eventually all this fencing is going to be moved some more. And then this whole area here is going to be where I plant the beets, the carrots, and oh, I had something else in mind. I can't remember. But then here, these sad looking little things here, this was my golden oregano. You guys remember, if you see my videos about golden oregano, love that stuff, but when I transplanted it out here last year, I might still possibly see some come back, but the zucchinis just ended up covering it up. I didn't know they were going to get quite so huge out here, and so I ended up losing most of it. And this was just one little tiny piece I had left in the backyard that I broke up into smaller pieces and then transplanted out here. I may just buy another one from the local nursery, because our local nursery does carry golden oregano. And then over here, this needs cleanup again. I got to finish picking dandelions. I've been out picking dandelions today. You know, I try to get as many flowers as I can while they're coming in, and then after I get the flowers, I let the leaves get nice and big and start picking those. But all this you see here, this is that wild geranium, and I have to keep coming out here and pulling it up. The good thing about it, except for when it's around the marshmallow plants like this one is, it tends to hang on to the roots of the marshmallow, so it's hard to pull up, but typically it pulls up really easy. It has very shallow roots. All these little baby things you see that look like lettuces, that's more of the wild geranium. So I got lots of cleanup to do. I hope I remember to come out and get those dandelion flowers. Okay, so here's a marshmallow that's much farther along. You can see how that looks. So as I said before, when it first starts coming up, it's just little red shoots that almost look like little worms coming out of the ground. And then you'll start seeing the leaves. This is at least second year that you'll see it start looking like this when it first comes up. When you're growing it first from seed, it won't look like this. This will be second year and on. And so anyway, that's, you know, you'll start seeing the leaves forming at the very top. This time is doing okay. This one's doing okay. I actually harvested a bunch off of that, but this is the thing I really wanted to show you is my valerian. Look at it. Look how big it is. It's really coming along. I'm so excited that it came back this year. And I found another one in the back main garden that I thought I'd lost, but what I had done last year was I ended up moving it to a different part of the garden, and I forgot about that until I saw it growing. So these pansies are looking pretty healthy, not so eaten up, and the colors are brighter. And then this one has started to bloom. The currant. Take you on a brief tour here of my herb garden. I didn't really show all this last time. There's another currant. My rose is coming along. That's a feverfew back there. So this is what feverfew looks like before it starts getting its flowers. There's a whole bunch. All these back here were ones that were self-seeded, but I'm just leaving them. The sage takes a little bit longer to start springing back than some of the other plants, even though it stays green all year. Oh, and here's a catnip right there. Great. I'm glad. I forgot that I had one here. And I did also see, where did I see it? Oh, over here. I saw one of my pansies coming back. I've had a heck of a time getting pansies to grow here. And please don't mind my long grass. It desperately needs to be mowed, but between the constant rains, it's really hard to get out here and mow it because it's never dry. And the elderberry, one of the elderberries. Rose, this is a white rose back here. This is the woolly lamb's ear. And it's coming up. I found it coming up in the main garden bed too and out back, even though I'd pulled it out of there a long time ago. I see some lemon balm coming from over here. So I'm actually going to get out soon and start harvesting lemon balm. Usually lemon balm is the next herb I go for. And then more oregano. This is all oregano here. This is my biggest lavender. Another elderberry. More lavender. Lavender. Mojito mint here. And this is my smallest elderberry, but this is my pollinizer for the other two. And really, I had a fourth one over here that was like those two, but for some reason that one didn't make it. So otherwise I would have planted this between those other two, but it seems to be working. But anyway, more woolly lamb's ear, garlic that I just let grow. I just let it do its thing out here to help prevent pests in the garden. This is the peppermint trying to come back, and of course it'll do great. Peppermint is one of actually the spearmint's the last one to really start growing. Peppermint's second. I got a rosemary there and there that both look like they were doing great all through the winter, and all of a sudden, bam, they're not doing so good. This one's hanging in there, and the other two are so-so. So I don't know what happened. I was all excited because it looked like my rosemary was going to do great, and then this is what always seems to happen. I might get some that do great for a couple years, and then all of a sudden, out of the blue, they just die. Now maybe, I don't know, maybe it didn't like the horse manure, because these two have the horse manure around them, and these other three don't. So that could be the problem. It could be like the sage and not caring for the horse manure. So more feverfew, more catnip, and that's horseradish there. Okay, let's go around back. All right, so my blueberries are blossoming out. Some of them are opened up here. If you follow me on Facebook, you would have seen I did set a cover photo of one of the some of the blueberry blossoms I took, and happened to catch some raindrops sitting on there. I didn't even realize it till after I got the photo. And then here is that red gooseberry that I was talking about in one of my previous update videos. And it's just looking, it's so much farther along than the currants. I would think they would be pretty close to being the same, but man, this one definitely liked being transplanted into this bigger pot with a lot of that chicken scrapings from their coop. So anyway, more blueberries, and then the grapevines are just now starting to show some life. So let me get a close-up here. See right there, a couple of buds. So there's those, they're all over the place, and grapevines, if you don't have grapes, what I found, at least around here, is they're the last things to really start showing a sign of life as far as my fruiting perennials go. Let's see, and then here's another currant. This was actually the first one I bought. I think I bought two at the same time, so these two would have been the first two. And then my aronia berries, they turned red. This tends to happen around here a lot in the spring when you plant something out. Things will turn purple or red. I'm praying that they hang in there and come back. So, because they're just kind of sitting there for now, but the weather, I don't know what causes it to do that. If it's because the sudden change, you know, going from warm to cold and then warm to cold again. I don't know if that's what's causing it. And there's my biggest catnip plant right there. That thing will get huge. It's really, even though it's related to a mint, it's really not that hard to keep it contained. That's about the size I allow it to get. I don't let it get any bigger. All these little green things you see popping up are borage, self-seeded, so I never have to plant borage, just like I never have to plant feverfew. It comes up on its own. And you can see my line there of mojito mint. There's an echinacea, and there's another echinacea over here. This is a lavender. I like having at least a couple of lavenders out in the main garden to add more color. But the catnip is very similar looking to the lavender when it's blooming with its purple flowers. Now, I did plant some peas out here, and I'm still thinking I'm only just starting to see one coming up right there. So I may have to plant some more. I thought the weather was perfect. You just never know around here what it's going to do. Right now I don't have anything planted in here. If anything comes up, it will be self-seeded tomatillos. Another lavender. Okay, and so then all the kale that you see out here is all from last year. And I still got to get out here and clean up more grass. Now that right there, that is the other valerian that I thought I had lost. And then more marshmallows coming up. More marshmallows over here. This one is surrounded by grass. The one thing that's hardest about the marshmallows is the things that like to grow around it. Keeping they hang on to the marshmallow roots. It's really hard to get out. So yeah, this fencing here, this fencing has been keeping the chickens out of the garden. So you can see these are much smaller. The holes in the other one they're about this tall, but they're wider. They're almost this wide, so some of them chickens can squeeze right through there. But this is a good size here. So this is the size you want to look for. I think, what is that, 4x4? I'm not sure. And then like most, the spaces get bigger at the top. So more holy lambs here. Plum tree. Look at this thing. It's just loaded with flowers. So this last year the other one they were both in the pot, but the other one was the one that got most of the plums on it. This one got 1 or 2. I'm thinking this year it might get a bunch more, but what we have to make sure is that it hasn't rooted itself down in there around our tank. So we have a tank down there that we'll talk about in another video eventually. And then I'm going to replant lettuces in here. I had them planted and the weather got just too cold. And a lot of them just kind of quit on me. I do see more trying to come up though, like right here. You can see a bunch. So anyway, that's what I'm going to have to do today. I'm going to have to get out here and clean the weeds and grass out again, and then plant the lettuce seeds again, at least in all these other pots. You know, that one down there looks fine. The rest of them I need to redo. Okay, so my tomatoes, for the most part, are doing okay. Again, the change in weather is kind of taking a toll on them. We had a real warm weather and then it got real cold. And these ones they're looking sad, the ones that are still in the pot. So I think what I'm going to do, because I'm not ready to put them anywhere else yet. I think I'm just going to have to take them out of these pots and then dig a big hole, stick them in the ground so that I think they need to be in the ground. Because you can see these other ones look fine. This one's in a pot and it looks fine. These ones are in pots and they look fine, but these two, I'm not sure what the deal is. I think that I'll get them to snap out of it because I'm seeing this right here. This life right here looks good. But it does look like they're missing some nutrients, and so I think I'm just going to stick them in the ground and see what happens. Transplanted some of my pepper plants. These are the ones that I started from seed that I got from Ellen. Here's some Marconi. This is a sweet red Marconi pepper. I started my dwarf nasturtiums in here. They won't stay in here. These will be moved outside. So some of them I direct seeded outside, and then some I started in here just to ensure that I'll have some. The dwarf ones, These little bright red ones, or the burgundy ones, they're a little less hardy than the other ones, so I have to be a little more careful with them. So this is a Chinese 5 color, this is a Chinese 5 color in here, and another Chinese 5 color, and a Marconi that's looking like it desperately needs water. Better get out here and do that. And then here's some more Marconi peppers. So again, as I said before, the horse manure thing, this is the bad thing, is that you're bringing over grass and all kinds of stuff that you got to keep up on. Oh, and this is a grapefruit. Yeah, got 2 of them actually. Okay, well that's my garden update. Not very quick, I guess, but not a whole lot to show yet. But things are coming along, and it's really great to see. It's always exciting to see new life in the garden, and I love it. I love it, people. So if you're not into gardening yet, you just got to start. Even if just start small, you can start small, but you will find a certain sense of joy and peace in growing even just a few little heads of lettuce. You'll be amazed what it does for your whole overall sense of well-being. So I highly recommend it. Okay, well I hope you enjoyed this video, and thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next garden update. Take care and God bless.